Welcome to Wctv. I'm Mikey Paisley.
And I'm Connor O'Hearn. I heard that we have a great show today. Is that true, Mikey?
It is, Connor. With all the mayhem of Winterfest week, we have a lot to catch up on with today's episode.
If you missed it, the dance was a hit. Almost 400 students were in attendance. The school's record was set at the homecoming dance this year, with 408 students boogieing on the dance floor.
Due to a poorly timed snow day, coronation will be moved from its original date on Monday, and Morgan Gorley and Brandon Jessen were crowned this year's Winterfest royalty last Friday.
Maya Jaycox took a closer look at last week's happenings. Take it away, Maya.
Now let's give it up for your girls basketball team, coached by Nicole Mullenbrook.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
Peace up, A-Town.
Now let's hear it for the boys basketball team, coached by Marty McKinney.
In the club with my homies, tryna get a little VI, we're down on the low key. You know how.
Put your hands together for the Lynx Wrestlers, coached by Ted Larson.
Someday we gonna rise up on that wind, you know. Someday we gonna dance with those lions. Someday we gonna break free from.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your 2014 Winterfest court.
So get ready because class is in session.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, you're crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound. Kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now, so good to see you. No time to talk, music loud with me. You made me, but it ain't no lie, baby, bye bye bye. Don't really wanna make it up, I just wanna tell you that I had Getting jiggy with it. Getting jiggy with it.
My name is Sadie. My name is what? My name is Slim Shady.
Party rockers in the house tonight. Everybody just have a. Every day I'm shuffling. But in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your
One, two, baby boy, test the mic and get the party jumping for the rest of the night.
Who in the world? Girls, girls. Boy, you know you love it. How we smart enough.
Oh, dear.
Now, here's the moment we've all been waiting for. Okay, and your Winterfest king and queen are... Morgan Gorley and Brandon Jessen.
Man, a lot of stuff happened last week. Once again, congratulations to Morgan and Brandon.
It's hard to believe that we are already past the halfway mark of the school year.
Sure is. Winter athletes are starting to wrap up their seasons with spring on the way.
Mikey, how do you know that spring is on the way?
I mainly judge how long we have to endure this cold Iowa winters by whether or not the groundhog sees his shadow.
What? You seriously believe in that?
Yeah, except for last year, but who would have seen that snow coming in May? That was just a little bad luck.
At least we got a snow day out of it.
That's true. I'm not the only person who believes in the groundhog's predictions. Chris Anderson has the story.
Snow is finally melting, and that means spring is almost here. Last February 2nd was Groundhog's Day, and that means the groundhog, Puxatawny Phil, is going to be deciding if we have 6 more weeks of winter or 6 more weeks of spring on whether he sees the shadow or not. Before we see what he says, let's see what Webster City students have to say about this holiday.
I want 6 more weeks of spring so I can practice baseball more.
Obviously, I want 6 more weeks of winter. I just love the cold.
People have been celebrating Groundhog's Day every February 2nd since 1886. It's gone to become a very popular holiday, getting a national TV event every year and even getting a movie made about it. Some facts some people might not know about Groundhog's Day is that the groundhog is 39% of the time accurate about his forecasts. But that's not surprising considering groundhogs only have a brain the size of a cashew. However, what is impressive is the groundhog in Pennsylvania is reported to be over 100 years old. Wow, Groundhog's Day sure is an interesting holiday. Now let's go back to the studio. This has been Chris Anderson for Wctv.
I guess you might be right after all, Mikey. The groundhog might not be so off on his predictions.
Told ya.
The news that we are in for 6 more weeks of winter isn't sitting so well with me. I'm looking forward to warmer weather that spring has to offer.
I am too, Connor. I also am looking forward to all the spring sports and, of course, speech competitions.
Mikey, I'm afraid I have to say I don't know very much about speech.
It is definitely one of the coolest club activities available at WCHS students.
Wyatt Vaughn learned all about speech for the next feature.
Have you ever thought to yourself, what is speech? If you thought it was as simple as just talking out loud, you're dead wrong. Let's go to Ms. Hadley and see if she can better explain what speech really is.
Speech is actually a couple different things. There's large group speech, which I coach, and there's individual speech, which Mrs. Garvey coaches. And basically, what it is an extracurricular activity for the theater arts, type of after-school activity, but there's a lot of things included in it.
Okay, I think I understand the basics of speech, but I think I could use some tips. Some WCHS speech students were willing to give me some advice.
All you really need to know is that you should over-exaggerate everything. In mime, spacing is a huge issue because you can't, like, say, build a campfire over here and then roast marshmallows over here.
In speech, facial expressions are really important because you need to make sure that the judges and also the audience know exactly what you're trying to get across.
Well, that was helpful, but what's the difference between group and solo mime? Here's Ms. Garvey to give us a better understanding.
They're entirely different. Group speech begins usually right after our play in the fall, and Ms. Hadley is a group sponsor. Webster City High School usually takes about 5 different categories to district, and they could have up to 15 people in them. Individual sounds just like it is. I'm the sponsor. That starts usually right after Christmas, and you're by yourself in your category. There's 15 different categories that you can choose from, and then you're by yourself working, and we work after school. And they're both great fun. We'd love to have more people join.
Well, I understand speech a lot better now. It's not as simple as I thought it was. This has been Wyatt Vaughn reporting to you from WCTV.
Thanks, Wyatt. Speech does look like an awesome activity to be involved in.
There will be a large group speech competition this Saturday.
Boys and girls basketball is wrapping up for the season. Their final home games are at home on Tuesday against Hampton-Dumont.
Don't forget about Valentine's Day next Friday. You wouldn't want to let down your significant other this year. Singing Valentines are available by calling the high school office.
$10 will buy you a song, chocolates, a flower, and a homemade card for your loved one.
WCTV will have a special show next week filled with tips on how to have a magical day.
That's all we have for you this week.
See you next time on
WCTV.